Okay, so now we are going to paint a cute little country door with umbrella and flowers. So first we're going to take the white and the black. Let's get this door painted in. Oh, oh man. See what happens when I'm not paying attention? There is a tracer. So don't forget to get your tracer and your supply list. I'm going to use this black, so I'm just going to grab it and we're going to use it with the white. And let's make a really, really light gray. I mean, that like little bit of black was plenty. So we're going to put this in here. And if you have the tracer, you want to, you can go ahead and I think paint over the flowers. That was just kind of a placeholder. So we're going to paint the whole thing gray. Up and down. You want to be able to see your paint strokes. You don't want to blend them. Okay. And this is just very light gray. And of course I got some black there, so every once in a while, let's go ahead and add a little bit of black. We'll make it a little bit darker gray here. This is like maybe the second panel. And what you'll want to do is, I think with the tracer, you definitely want to use the dark one. So that was a little too dark, so I'm adding a little bit of white. Okay, your goal is that it's just going to be like antique white door with some streaks in it. So pretty much it's random, it's gray, and then white in places and darker gray in places, right? So, and I do go on the outside of edges because I like to be able to put my painting on the wall without having to frame them. So we're going to do a little dark gray and white. And see the streaks in there? I just keep adding a little, tiny, tiny bit of black. Okay? So, that's your white and your black streaks. And I'm going to go over a little bit more white because I want my door to be lighter colored. And I'm not really blending in it, I'm just kind of making it go over the top. Okay, so it's kind of a light gray white blend. You'll see this better here shortly as it starts to dry. And again, I'm going to go on the outside edges. Get a little extra over here. Okay, there we go. So it's kind of a gray with a little bit of white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black, but we're going to make it a darker gray now. Okay? Darker gray. And I'm going to go ahead and put in my doors here, the lines of my wood pieces for my door. Oops, that's way out of balance. So if you need to fix it, just go with a little bit of white and gray. That was way crooked. So now you see what happens. And I'm not going to use a tracer. We'll freehand this, but I will have a tracer for you to use, or I do have one up there for you to use. And let me get my liner brush. And I'm going to use a little bit of inky black here. And let's just go make my lines. I will lighten these up. They do not have to be straight. And again, like I said, I will lighten them up and fix them. And even though I don't want them totally wacky crooked, but you know, it's farmhouse rough, right? Farmhouse chic. Okay. So now I'm going to take my brush, a smaller brush, dampen it, get a little bit of the white and gray on there, and let's just go down beside it on both sides. And I'm just going to make it a little thinner, a little straighter. Right here, I'm just going to spread my paintbrush and put it next to it. And then on this side as well. Okay. And then over here. And all I did was I took my paintbrush and went down both sides, and whenever you go the other side you flip your paintbrush so that the black stays in the middle and doesn't go all over your door. But if it does, just use your paintbrush and go back over it, because the door does need to be just a streaked door, not painted white or black or gray, just so it kind of looks like a country door. And now you have your little lines. I got to get rid of that. I made a mistake there. See, no, it's not a mistake. Happy little accidents. Okay, so now you've kind of got your black door, your black marks for where your different pieces of wood are for your door. Sorry, I can't seem to talk today. And let's see, while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use I guess a detail brush. And I'm going to get some black, and what I'm going to do is, if you'll use your tracer, you'll know where to put the door hinges. So I'm going to put the door hinges here. I'm going to go around the edge of my canvas. And country door hinges here. I'm using solid black, and they kind of come out to about an inch, I guess, about an inch away from the first 2x4 in the door. And then I put the little connector right there. That's the one that's nailed to the door. And because it's not a full door, I'm only going to put in 2 of the hinges, because we're going to pretend the bottom of the door is down here. So we get kind of a half door. And we'll put the other hinge about right here. And the handle is kind of, because this is only one side, the handle is really going to be down here. So I think for this one, I'm going to leave the handle off, and let's see what happens, because I don't want it to look too strange without the handle, or with the handle. So let's see what happens. So let's see, my original, I had a handle, but now I look at it, it looks funny. So let's go ahead and we're going to paint we're going to use earth brown, and we're going to paint the handle of the can't talk today, of the umbrella. So we're going to do it up here, kind of a U shape like this. And that's just kind of giving me an idea of where it's going to be. So we're going to make this round, and we're going to give the handle right here. And it's going to come down a little further. And all I did was use a little detail brush, kind of mark where that's going to be. Okay. Okay. And then I believe my umbrella is going to be a light and dark teal. So I'm going to use the Green Lagoon. And I'm going to kind of draw in where the umbrella will be. So maybe here, right, come across here. And yeah, the back is still a little wet. And then it's going to come down kind of like this. Oops, not too squiggly. And kind of like this. And like this. I want the top to be a little squiggly, but you won't be able to see that anyway. But just in case. So we're going to go ahead and paint this in. And I'm going to mix a little white with the teal. And like I said, though, this won't, I will do have a tracer for you, so please feel free to use the tracer or paint it any style you'd like. I'm just going to get a different brush here. I'm going to use Filbert and get this, let's see. I think I'm going to have to blend this with some white to make it dark enough, but, or maybe just 2 coats. Let's go ahead and get this on here. And it's kind of blending in with the background, which is fine, because I will just go over this with another coat. And it's kind of like a V. Okay, now while this is drying, I'm going to take my detail brush again, and I'm going to dip it in that dark brown. Let's go ahead and put the little end piece on right here. Okay. And let that dry just a little bit here. Okay, so you can kind of see where that's going to be. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is close your ears. I am going to use my hair dryer. The second coat, what I want to do is I'm going to make this kind of even. So I'm going to go over it like this, and let's kind of bring it down here. And again, if you're using the tracer, Yours will be even, or should be pretty close, both sides. Okay. Give a little bit more. And again, most of this in the background will be covered on the top, but just in case it's not, you definitely want it to look kind of like the top of the umbrella. And I'm just giving another coat of my Green Lagoon. I really like this color. I'm kind of making sure my edges are where I can see them. Okay. Okay. So now while that is drying, I'm going to get my detail brush back out. And I'm going to get a little white, and let's go ahead and put a little white line between where the colorful part of the umbrella ends and the little pointy end. Okay, now it's separated there. So now what I want to do is, I really want my umbrella to be dry, before I put, got a little green on here, but I'm going to leave it because I think I'll cover that with a flower. So I want it to be dry before I add any of my depth of the umbrella in. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and do some flowers. So let's get a little, maybe a 1/2 inch brush, and I'm going to start with a purple one. Okay, take a little bit of purple, and what we're going to do is I'm just going to do, that's wet, so I want to be careful. But what I will do is I'll put one flower starting here, and I'm just going to make a blob. It's kind of a blob with little rounded edges. You know, little pieces sticking out here and there. And my brush is actually making the lines, and it can have brush lines, and it looks pretty cool. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put another purple one, maybe right here. Got too much paint, didn't I? Oh, we'll just make him a little bigger. So it's kind of a blob with some rounded outside edges, some shape to it. And let's see, one more purple one right here. At this point, you can make them any color you want. I mean, you can always make it any color you'd like. Make it your own and use your favorite colors. So now with the purple, I'm going to add some bright pink, which is actually, yeah, bright pink. So let's use a little bright pink, and I'm going to put some flowers in here. And here. I'll make those two separate flowers. Kind of a smaller flower. Maybe here. And let's see. I think I'm going to take some of the pink, and we're just going to also do some little, just, I guess, Should probably be purple, but a little pink wisteria. I guess that's the name of it, hanging down here. I'm just barely touching the canvas with my brush. The tip of the brush is kind of bouncing off my canvas. Make a point there, and maybe some here. Right. And what I will do is we will add a little white to this and some more pink to make it stand out a little more. But I do like these being the pink flowers up here. And let's see, maybe some white. Let's put some white into the pink. Make it more of a white color. I'm just tapping that into the pink. There, it's kind of more white than pink, which actually looks pretty good. And over here, the same thing. Tap it into the pink. And I'm going to put one over here just for, make it white. Okay. And I am just touching the canvas barely with my paintbrush. And you can have these anywhere you'd like to have them. Okay, so now I'm going to use, let's see. Let's use, I want to put a flower here, so let's make it a purple flower. And what we're going to put underneath it is going to be the white ribbon. So I had to kind of think that one through. So, put a white ribbon. Here, and that's connected to that flower. And then we will take our detail brush and let's go ahead and get out some of our foliage green. I'm going to use my detail brush and get it kind of wet so it's going to move real smooth. And let's put some lines out of here, coming out of the ribbon. Some plant, some greenery. Okay, and then up here we'll also have some greenery come out. I'm just barely touching the canvas. Okay. And this can come out just kind of anywhere you want it to come out from. little green. Okay, now what I want to do is take and let's put in some leaves. So we're going to use the dark green and let's just make some little footballs and some little marks. Actually, not even footballs, just kind of some little marks here just to kind of give it some greenery. See, I'm just touching the canvas with the brush, almost like we did the wisteria. Let's put some down here and put some right here. I'm just touching the canvas with the brush and fill that in there. Let me get a little bit more here. And I'm just kind of touching it just to fill it in with some greenery. And then what we'll do is we're going to take some really light green and we're going to go over that dark green and just randomly touch it with some light green. And give it some personality and some shine. Alrighty. And now what I want to do is take my liner brush and I'm going to take some white and give my flowers some of their personality here, just little zigzags all the way around, right? Make it a flower and a little U in the middle, a couple of zigzags. Couple of zigzags here. Okay. Go down here and a little guy down here. And do the same with the white. With the pink. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the bluegrass green, which is the darker teal, and with a dry brush, small dry brush, get it just on the tip of the brush. Now what we need to do is kind of give the umbrella its shadows, right? So it's got a little shadow here. And I'm going to kind of pull it in towards the umbrella from the outside. Okay. And let's say it's got a fold about right here. So I'm going to put a line, just a real thin little line. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to pull it kind of towards the middle a little with this brush. And I'm going to go over it and over it. It's going to kind of make it fade just a little bit. But I do want that line there. And then pull out the shadow. And let's pull this out a little bit this way. Kind of darken up the bottom a little bit. And we're going to add a little bit of paint here, and we'll dark this up just a little. See, we're going to drag a little further into the middle of the umbrella. Make it a little bit, we don't want it too rough in there. We're going to kind of blend it in. See how it kind of blends in there and becomes a shadow? Here, because the background is still damp, we're able to give it a really nice little shadow. Kind of blend it in here. Right. Give it a shadow. Kind of blend it in there. I'll redo my leaves. Okay. So now it kind of has little folds. Maybe a little line down here. Give a little shadow there. And then right about here. Pull it out. This is a little more dry here, which is fine. We're just going to rub it in for a dry brush effect, which is really nice. So if it's wet, you can blend it, and if it's dry, you just rub it in as a dry brush. Gonna give it a shadow. Okay, and you don't want it real pronounced, just want a little shadow. All right. So I need to put a little bit of my green back here. So now you've got the shadows of the umbrella. And then down here I did this white ribbon. So what I want to do is, it's just a little plain white ribbon with the purple. So I'm going to take a little bit of the white and kind of make it come like right here. Tied right here. Okay. And then it's connected to that purple flower and then over the grass. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get some more white in here. Just with my paintbrush, just tapping it in to my wisteria and here. And I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is cover it. I'm going to paint, show you how to fix this. I'm going to take that white, we're going to blend that into the background of the white and black, right, the gray. Right. and I'm going to turn that into a pink flower. So let's grab the pink. Get out, Josh, get out. Grab the pink. And make a little blob flower here. Yes. Okay. Much better. And we'll let that dry and get some outline in there. And I think it's about how I want it to look right there. Get the white. Okay, so now I want to take a little yellow, and we're going to use some Sunbeam, and I'm going to give it a little yellow centers. On the flowers. Perfect. And I think I'll call that done. So what do you think? There it is. You can do this any color, any shape, any size, anything you'd like. I will have this was off the cuff. I will have the tracer online. So watch the video all the way through so you'll know I messed up on that. And otherwise you'll look at the tracer and go, hey, what happened there? But that's about it. And I hope you enjoyed it. You actually just watched me figure this out on the fly. And I hope you like it. And I hope you'll paint this with your girls and guys. And let me know how it goes. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.